Hey everybody, this is an assignment we did in class converting fractions to percentages, and I told the students that I would give a demonstration video for some of the more difficult fractions. Students can handle some of these fractions just knowing that half is 50% or knowing how to change something with a denominator of 10. Easily we can get that to equal a denominator of 100, which will tell us that it's 90%. Some of these have 100 as the denominator, which is very easy to tell what the percentage is. Some fractions we know the decimal equivalent of, and that can help us know what the percentage is. And then others, like 4/7, it is a little bit more difficult to figure out what this is equivalent to with 100 as the denominator, because that will help us know what the percentage is. For these types of fractions where the denominator is more difficult to get to 100, we're using for now the bat and ball strategy to get fractions to percents when they are like that. So here's a demonstration of that strategy, and it works with any fraction that you need to find a percentage of. The example we were talking about was 4/7, and we wanted to make it equivalent to a fraction with a denominator of 100, because that way we find the percentage very easily. The bat and the ball strategy basically is some cross multiplication. We're looking at these two as our bat, and the other value that we know, the 7 here in this case, is our ball. And what we're going to do is cross multiply the 4 and 100 to get 400, obviously. And we're going to divide 400 by the number that is the ball. So 400 divided by 7. In doing this, we're going to get a percentage where we don't have to move the decimal. It's going to give us the number we want that we can easily make into the percentage. We could also do this by just taking 4 and dividing it by 7. But when we do that, the decimal will be here, and we'll have to move that decimal 2 places in our answer. So the bat and the ball strategy eliminates that little step. Either way works, but the bat and the ball, we cross multiply first. So here we go. 7 does not go into 4, but it does go into 40. And the closest that we can get is 5 times. 7 times 5 is 35. And so we subtract and bring down just like we would in regular division. 7 goes into 50 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. And subtract and bring down. Nothing to bring down, so here is our clue that we'll need a decimal point. And now we can bring down a 0 to complete our division. 7 goes into 10 once. Subtract. Bring down again. 7 goes into 34 times. And we could keep going and going, and this would be going on for a long time, but in our instructions it says round answers to the nearest 10th place. So we've gotten that far with 57.14, so we can take our 57 and 1400ths and round to the nearest 10th place by looking at the digit in the hundreds place. If this was 5 or more, we could change this to a 2, but it is 4 or less, so we're going to let this rest, as we say, and stay where it is. So 57.1%, and that is the percentage of the fraction 4.7. So we're 57.1 out of 100. And so we can come back over in this case and say 57.1 over 100, or just 57.1%. And in this case, in the activity that we're doing here, we can find 57.1% and shade in accordingly using the key. This worksheet came from Teachers Pay Teachers, and it is copyright Eric Thomas, and I have paid for the rights to use this worksheet in class. If you want some other good worksheets like this to try, he has several different ones that you can use. But the bat and the ball strategy will help us with lots of these other fractions where it is difficult to get it equal to 100 in order to change it to a percent. So that same process will work for any fraction. Hope this helps.